I'm the adopted daughter of the richest Sinclair family. Because I fell in love with my adoptive brother, he sent me to a mental hospital. Claire, you're just unwell, he said. When you're better, I'll come back for you. Be good, all right? After my brother left, the young and handsome doctor asked me, "What's your situation?" I replied, "Whenever I see my brother, I want to eat his lips." They said I'm sick, so they sent me here. The doctor gazed at me intently, examining me carefully for a moment. He checked my pupils with a torch. Then he said, "It's not a serious issue. It's just that you don't eat enough lips. I'll prescribe a 2-week course of treatment. Come to the medical room to eat my lips for half an hour every morning, noon and evening." As he was speaking, a middle-aged, balding, chubby man shouted angrily, "Victor Wright! You're impersonating me again." I stood there holding the prescription, utterly confused. Ding! This novel reminds you to click the subscribe button in the bottom right corner to read the complete novel. Because of the incident where I forcefully ate my brother's lips at my birthday party, I was confined for 3 days and nights. The butler would come every day to ask me, "Miss, the madam wants to know if you've realized your mistake." I remained silent, staring blankly at the wall. How brave I was when drunk, and how cowardly I am when sober. My name is Claire Sinclair, adopted daughter of the Sinclair family, the wealthiest in the capital circle. I was taken in by the Sinclairs at the age of 8. The Sinclair parents treated me as their own, raising me strictly according to the standards of a proper young lady. From a young age, I was required to excel in music, chess, calligraphy, and painting, and to achieve straight A's in all subjects. If I failed to meet their expectations, I would be scolded by my parents. "You're both Sinclair children, why could your brother do it back then, but you can't? Don't make us regret adopting you. From today, your training time will be doubled." At times like these, only my brother Leo would comfort me, patiently helping me analyze the reasons for my shortcomings. But my parents wouldn't let me get too close to my brother either. "Don't bother your brother. Do you know how busy he is? When he was your age, he had already." In my heart, I admired my brother's excellence and craved his gentleness. Yet I also resented him for being so perfect, making my life so difficult. Back in the orphanage, all I hoped for was a full meal and a chance at education. But I couldn't show any of this. As an orphan, being adopted by the Sinclair family, the wealthiest in the capital circle, was a blessing I must have earned from several past lives. I should be grateful, I must be grateful. I have to work hard to catch up with my brother, not to disappoint him or our parents. But for some reason, I developed feelings for my brother Leo that I shouldn't have. I would secretly record his daily life, sneak photos of him, and pretend to feed him failed cakes from my cooking class, which were actually carefully made by me for him. I treasured the handkerchief embroidered with his name that he accidentally left behind, secretly inhaling its scent for a long time. Only when it no longer held his scent did I throw it into the laundry basket. I love my brother, that's for certain. Does he love me? Not necessarily. He seems to be kind to everyone, with an innate charisma. He's gentle and refined in his interactions, yet his smile is distant and aloof. I even suspect that everything he shows is just a facade. In reality, he might be as fed up as I am deep down. On my 18th birthday, I made a momentous decision. I wanted him to know that I love him. The Sinclair family threw a grand coming-of-age party for me, which also doubled as my university acceptance celebration. Not only were the elites of the capital circle in attendance, but many of my teachers and classmates had come as well. The insincere flattery and sycophancy were, of course, to be expected. Mom even brought me over to meet several wealthy young gentlemen. "This is my daughter Claire. Claire, dear, these are the sons of your fathers and my business partners. Do try to get along with them. If you find any of them to your liking, Mommy can arrange an introduction. You're 18 now, darling. You're an adult. Don't make your father, your brother, or me worry about you, all right?" My hand gripping the champagne flute stiffened, my palm sweating profusely. My entire heart was trembling, yet I had to maintain a gentle smile on my face. "Of course, Mum. I understand. Mom patted my shoulder and turned to greet other guests, leaving me alone to deal with those young men. Miss Sinclair, what are your hobbies? Have you chosen your university course yet? What subject do you want to study, and what career are you considering for the future? Do you enjoy rock climbing? The men bombarded me with questions, and I felt my head buzzing, as if I were losing consciousness. I could only gulp down champagne to ease my anxiety and awkwardness. The swimming pool in front of me shimmered, its blue waters tempting me to jump in. If I jumped in, would those men stop asking me questions? Would they stop talking in my ear? The next second, a hand firmly grabbed me. Careful! I looked up to see Leo's face, composed as ever. He frowned, looking at me with concern. Have you had too much to drink? I shook my head dumbly, then nodded. Leo apologized to the group. My sisters had a bit too much. If you'll excuse us for a moment. He led me through the crowd, bringing me to a secluded corner of the garden. Just as he was about to turn and scold me, I couldn't help but throw myself into his arms. Leo! Leo turned unexpectedly and found himself with an armful of me. His body tensed slightly, then his tone softened. If you can't hold your drink, why did you have so much? He tried to pull away, saying, Come on, I'll carry you back. We'll deal with this tomorrow. But I, feigning drunkenness, clung to Leo's embrace, holding tight to his slim, toned waist, burying my face in his neck to breathe in his scent. Leo, you smell so good. Leo's body grew warm, and he instinctively tried to push me away. Stop that. I'll give you the perfume tomorrow. I ran my hands over his body. I don't want perfume. I want you. Leo's ears turned imperceptibly red, but his tone became stern. Claire, you're 18 now. You're an adult, not a child anymore. I may be your brother, but I'm also a man. You're a young lady, and you shouldn't say such misleading things to a man so casually. Oh my, he's really putting on an act, but I love it. I reached up and grabbed his tie, pulling him towards me. Does brother have to be just a brother? Why can't brother be my husband? I like you, you know that, right? Do you like me the way I like you? Leo immediately cut me off. Claire, you're drunk. You don't know what you're saying. I'll pretend you never said any of this today. Now, let's go home right away. But once the floodgates were opened, how could I hold back? Seeing Leo's resistant expression, I felt even worse. Boo-hoo, Leo, do you know I've liked you for a long time? I know it's wrong to feel this way, but I can't control it. You're all I think about. When Mom introduces those men to me, I feel so upset. My head feels like it's going to explode. Wah, Leo, my head, it hurts so much. Could you kiss me? If you do, it won't hurt anymore. I tugged on Leo's tie and stood on tiptoes, throwing myself at him for a kiss. Leo had one hand supporting me while the other tried to prevent my lips from reaching his face. But the alcohol made me bold and strong. Not only did I pin him down for a kiss, but I also straddled him. Claire, don't, MMPH. I'm your brother. Come to your senses. If I were in my right mind, how could I dare do such a thing? I was far from sober. Leo was pinned under me for half an hour as I devoured his lips, leaving them swollen. I was tired too and about to pass out. But just then, a sharp female voice suddenly came from behind us. Ah! What are you doing? That shriek brought everyone from the party over. The news that the Sinclair family's adopted daughter had seduced her adoptive brother at her own coming-of-age party spread like wildfire. I, the Sinclair family's young lady, was disgraced from that moment on. Scorned by the capital's elite families. My mother, who had never laid a hand on me since I was little, slapped me and had people lock me in the basement. Claire Sinclair, you've disappointed me terribly. Someone take her away and lock her up. Let her reflect on her actions. Reflection was impossible, I could only reminisce. The butler came to ask me again. Miss, the madam wants to know if you've realized your mistake. I remained silent, staring blankly at the wall. I felt a bit dead inside, but I suppose being alive was fine too. Fortunately, having grown up with Leo, I might not have picked up many good traits, but I had mastered the art of appearing aloof. So, my behavior was seen as defiance, a protest through hunger strike. At first, my mom came to scold me. "Claire, that's your brother. How could you do something so morally reprehensible?" Later, she began to doubt. "Tell Mom, did your brother seduce you behind our backs?" Then, she attempted to disparage her son. "He's not as great as you think. He was still wetting the bed at 3. I finally showed some reaction. "Don't you dare speak ill of him." My mom, usually the picture of a cold and haughty lady, was so angry she nearly jumped. "He's my own son, and I can't even talk about him?" She had a point. "Please, do continue." "My mom, you." She wearily rubbed her forehead. "In any case, you can't fancy your brother. We Sinclairs are a respectable family. If this gets out, where will your father and I hide our faces? Do you want everyone in the capital circle to laugh at our family?" Everyone? That would be quite a spectacle. But I didn't dare say that out loud, only quietly answering, "No, I don't." Hearing this, my mum let out a long sigh. "At least you have some conscience left. We originally planned to send you abroad for further studies after you finished university here. But given the current situation, we'll have to move that forward. Take a good rest these few days. Your father and I will prepare the documents for you to study abroad. Once everything's ready, we'll personally see you off at the airport." Study abroad? Does that mean I won't be able to see Leo anymore? I'd rather die right here and now. As I closed my eyes, I could almost see my mum's panicked face. "Claire! Claire, what's wrong?" After the doctor's examination, he told my parents and Leo. "She fainted from hunger." The 3 of them sighed in relief. The doctor continued, "But her mental state seems a bit off. I suggest you take her to see a psychiatrist for a thorough checkup." The 3 of them, what? My mum tentatively asked me, "Claire, dear, you haven't eaten for days. What would you like?" "Mummy will ask the housekeeper to make it for you." I replied, "I want to eat some lips." "My dad, what dish is lips?" "I'll send someone to buy it." Leo's face turned red as he stammered. "Dad, Mom, eating lips means kissing." My parents looked at the corner of Leo's mouth, which had just healed after I had kissed it raw a few days ago, and fell into deep thought. "Parents, whose lips? Leo, mine?" After being locked in the basement for 3 days and fainting from hunger, my parents were delighted to discover I had developed anorexia. I didn't want to eat anything, couldn't stomach a thing. Sometimes, to avoid worrying them, I'd eat. But afterwards I'd sneak off to the bathroom to secretly throw it all up. In less than 2 weeks, I lost nearly 1 stone. This should have been a good thing, but the problem was, I originally weighed just under 7 stone. Leo snuck into the room where I was being held, looking even more broken than I was. "Claire, please eat something, won't you?" "What would make you eat?" I clutched his sleeve, timidly saying, "If you feed me with your mouth, I'll eat." Leo immediately refused, "No way." "Oh." I silently retreated. I don't know how much time passed before Leo came back, with a piece of steak in his mouth, bringing it to my lips. Eat it." I ate the steak, licking the sauce clean from his lips, and even sucked on his tongue a bit. Leo stared at my lips, asking, "Are you full now?" Just as I was about to answer, I heard Mum scream behind us. "Ah! Leo Sinclair! She's gone mad, have you lost your mind too?" Mum lunged at him, desperately trying to hit him, and managed to slap him a few times as he dodged. This was the first time she had ever hit a child. The sharp sound of the slaps brought Mum back to her senses. "Are you trying to give me a heart attack? Is that what you want?" Leo looked at her, bewildered. "Mum, I don't know. I just didn't want Claire to starve to death." Mom looked at him with disbelief. Probably finding it too absurd, she fainted. The doctor said she had high blood pressure and couldn't handle any more stress. After much consideration, Leo sent me to a psychiatric hospital. "Claire, be good and cooperate with the doctor's treatment, okay? When you're better, I'll come to get you, all right?" I nodded, "If you need anything, Ask the doctor to call me. I replied, MMM. Leo wanted to say more, but seeing my distracted expression, he finally just hugged me and said to the nurse beside me, go on then. The nurse led me forward, but just as we were about to enter the hospital, I suddenly ran back to ask him, will you really come to get me? Leo, who had been so certain before, now hesitated. Claire, I stared intently into his eyes, trying to see what he was thinking. The nurse beside me, probably sensing his difficulty, smiled kindly and came to lead me away. Claire, come on, let's go in. I followed the nurse for a few steps, but when I tried to run back again, she held me firmly and called for 2 orderlies. What are you standing there for? Bring her in quickly. I struggled to look back, wanting to see Leo, but he had already driven off in his Bentley, leaving me with nothing but a cloud of resolute exhaust fumes. Despite her earlier stern demeanor when pulling me back, the nurse was quite gentle when addressing me. Claire, your brother has already booked an appointment for you with Dr. Woodville, the head of our hospital. He's an expert in this field. I'll take you to him now. I eyed the nurse warily, wondering if she might have a split personality. People say that sometimes in psychiatric hospitals, you can't tell who's really a doctor and who's actually a patient. I secretly thought, could everyone here be patients pretending to be staff? That would be truly mad. Lost in my thoughts, I was finally led to the director's office. The nurse let out a surprised "Oh, Dr. Woodville isn't here? He might have gone to the loo. Wait here for a moment, I'll go and check." She instructed me to stay put and not wander off, then turned and left. I sat in the chair, fidgeting and touching things around me, thinking to myself, being a hospital director must pay well. Even the chairs are real leather. He's probably some grumpy old codger. The next second, a figure in a white coat with a stethoscope around his neck and wearing rimless gold-framed glasses emerged from under the desk. Seeing my startled expression, he spoke. "Why are you just staring? Come over here." As I saw his young, handsome face with sharp features, I felt my cheeks flush involuntarily. I had expected an old man, but he looked quite young. I shuffled reluctantly to the seat in front of him. Dr. Woodville listened to my heartbeat with his stethoscope, while casually asking me questions. "So, what seems to be the problem?" I thought to myself, no wonder he became director at such a young age. He immediately spotted that I had issues. I carefully lowered my voice and told him, "Whenever I see my brother, I want to eat his lips. They say I'm sick, so they sent me here." Dr. Woodville gazed at me intently, examining me for a moment, then checked my pupil dilation with a small torch. Then he said, "It's not a serious issue. It's just that you don't eat enough lips. I'll prescribe a 2-week course of treatment. Come to the medical room to eat my lips for half an hour every morning, noon and evening." He scribbled a prescription on a piece of paper and handed it to me. As we were talking, a middle-aged balding man burst in, shouting angrily, "Victor Wright! Impersonating me again!" I stood there clutching the prescription, utterly confused. You're not Dr. Woodville?" The middle-aged man stripped off the white coat from the younger man, snatched away his stethoscope, and shoved him out from behind the desk. "Get out! Or I'll have Nurse Wilson deal with you." Then he turned to me apologetically. "I'm sorry, I'm the real Dr. Woodville. This is one of our patients who often pretends to be me. So, what brings you here today?" The young man called Victor Wright scrambled out of the office, his hair disheveled and glasses askew, looking nothing like the composed figure from earlier. But as he ran out, he still defiantly stuck his tongue out at Dr. Woodville and called back to me. "I have to go now or they'll put me in solitary. Don't forget the prescription I gave you." Dr. Woodville, the balding middle-aged director, asked me many questions. I answered them all honestly. Then he said to me, "Your situation isn't too serious, it's just a bit of a psychological barrier. Your fondness for your brother is entirely due to the excessive pressure your parents have put on you. You only feel relaxed around your brother, which has led to a bit of a brother complex over time. I'll prescribe you some medication, and you can rest well in our sanatorium for a while. You'll be fine soon." I had a sudden realization, oh. So that's what it is. Then what about my loss of appetite, not being able to eat? Dr. Woodville replied, that's certainly because your family's chef isn't up to par. Don't worry, our hospital has dedicated nutritionists who will arrange healthy and nutritious meals tailored to your individual situation. What a miracle worker! I felt enlightened, sensing that my condition had improved significantly. After leaving the director's office, I was escorted back to my room to rest. Because Leo was quite wealthy, he had arranged a private, high-end room for me. Opening the door led directly to a garden full of blooming flowers. As a patient with a milder condition, I was allowed to move about freely. Closing my eyes, I felt the sunlight on my face and the fragrance of flowers and grass in the air. I felt that I was already cured and could notify Leo to come and discharge me immediately. Thinking this, I could almost see Leo standing in front of me, reaching out his hand and saying, Claire, I'm here to take you home. Suddenly, I felt the light and shadow before me darken slightly. I opened my eyes to see Victor standing in front of me, hands behind his back, studying me intently. What are you doing? I looked at him, not knowing what to say for a moment. I couldn't exactly say I was daydreaming, could I? I just said, I know you, you're Victor, right? Dr. Woodville told me all about you. He said you're mentally ill and often impersonate him, and that I shouldn't pay attention to you. Victor scoffed at this, blowing a strand of hair from his forehead, and revealing a very disdainful expression. Is that what the old baldy told you? You believe everything he says? He spoke so confidently that I began to hesitate. Then, Victor said, that old baldy is the one who's mentally ill. I'm just playing along with him to avoid aggravating his condition. Actually, I'm the real director of this hospital. You can call me Doctor, right? I looked at him skeptically. But Nurse Wilson also said that the director of this hospital is surnamed Woodville. Victor asserted confidently. I'll let you in on a secret, that Nurse Wilson is actually a mental patient in disguise. The real head nurse has been locked away by them long ago. They've locked her in a dark room, forcing her to take medication every day and admit that she's mentally ill. If she doesn't admit it, they shock her with electricity. I was frightened. Is it really that terrible? Absolutely. Victor gripped my shoulders and solemnly told me. So, whatever you do, don't say you're not ill, and don't go against them. Just cooperate with whatever they tell you to do. But don't actually take the medication they give you. If you take their medication, you won't know who you are anymore. As he spoke, he demonstrated how to hide the medication. Hide it under your tongue, drink water, make a swallowing motion. And once the nurse has left, spit it into the toilet and flush it away. I felt I had gained a lot and was extremely grateful to Victor. Thank you, Dr. Wright. If it weren't for you, I would have certainly been deceived by them. Victor smiled. It's my duty. A doctor's heart is like a parent's. You're still so young, I will definitely cure you. It's lunchtime now, you can eat lips first. I was startled by his words. Victor said, don't you remember? The prescription I gave you. Half an hour each in the morning, afternoon, and evening. For some reason, my face turned bright red. Well, I've been thinking, and I don't really feel like it. Victor held my shoulders, looking at me with gentle eyes. As if there was a warm sun in them, making me feel like I was basking in spring sunshine. Think carefully, is it that you really don't want to? Or is it just that you don't want to eat mine? I stared at Victor's full, moist lips before me, lowering my head sheepishly. I don't know. Actually, it wasn't that I didn't want to eat, I was just a bit embarrassed about it. Unexpectedly, Victor said. That's it, how can your illness get better if you haven't even figured out the cause? Your family sent you here because you wanted to eat your brother's lips, didn't they? If you don't want to eat his, but want to eat someone else, wouldn't they consider you cured? I looked at him with admiration. Could he be a genius? Oh, you're right. If I get better, Dad, Mom, and my brother won't be angry with me anymore. But after thinking for a moment, I hesitated again. No, I'm not sure if I can eat anyone other than my brothers. Victor rolled his eyes a bit exasperatedly. You won't know until you try. With that, he suddenly cupped the back of my head, lifting me up as if I were a carrot being pulled from the ground, and lowered his head to press his lips against mine. Forced to stand on my tiptoes, I widened my eyes, shocked at Victor's suddenly magnified face before me. Victor also had his eyes open, tilting his head, pausing on my lips without much movement, a thoughtful expression on his face. But I felt my heart rate accelerate. The reason was simple: Victor's face was just too handsome. I realized that maybe it wasn't just Leo the first could be attracted to. Apparently, I could be drawn to anyone good-looking. Oh no, I never thought I'd be this kind of person. Tears of shame rolled down from the corners of my eyes. Victor looked at me strangely. Why are you crying? I told him, that's not how you eat lips. Then, taking advantage of Victor's momentary confusion, I grabbed his collar, pulled his head down, and captured his lips, sucking gently on them. This is how you do it. Victor, who had been so confident and serious just moments ago, instantly turned red, looking at me with surprise. Seizing his moment of bewilderment, I slipped my tongue in, tasting him briefly. Then, pretending to be serious, I told him, this is the right way to kiss. Victor, having come to his senses, coughed awkwardly. Ahem. Oh. This is the first time I've given this prescription to someone. Well, shall we continue? From that day on, whenever I had free time, I would go to Victor to eat lips. We'd eat in the morning, at noon, and in the evening. During the day and at night, the treatment couldn't be interrupted. We'd eat standing up, sitting down, lying face down, and on our backs. Sometimes he'd pin me against the wall to eat lips. Other times I'd push him onto a table. We unlocked many new locations to eat lips, like hiding in the stairwell cupboard, sneaking off to the riverbank, or ducking into a small copse. Victor was an incredibly fast learner, his eating lips technique improving daily. When he kissed me, I'd make the most unladylike noises. Embarrassed, I'd pinch him so he'd make equally undignified sounds. With Victor around, I didn't take a single pill the head nurse gave me. Victor said that after taking his medicine, I wouldn't need any other. I felt that after taking Victor's medicine, my whole being improved. Every day I ate well, slept well, and stopped thinking about Leo Sinclair. Dr. Wright was truly a miracle worker. His treatment was instantly effective. One day, while we were in the middle of a snog, a middle-aged female patient discovered us. She demanded to join in. Aha! So this is where you've been sneaking off to. Let me join you. We firmly refused her. Absolutely not. She became very angry. I'm going to tell the head nurse. You two are having a secret affair. We desperately tried to explain. We're not. This is treatment, we're taking medicine. The female patient put her hands on her hips and scoffed. Do you think I'm stupid? Humph. Then she quickly ran off. That evening, when the head nurse came to give me my medicine, I hid it under my tongue as usual. Unexpectedly, the head nurse, who had never checked before, asked me to open my mouth and lift my tongue. Seeing the pill hidden under my tongue, the head nurse looked disappointed. I thought you were a good girl. I didn't expect you to be like those others, hiding your medicine and having affairs with other patients. I must inform your guardian. I was utterly confused. Can anyone relate to this? After being sent to a mental hospital for falling in love with my adoptive brother, now I'm getting reported to my family for having an affair with another patient. Bad news, Leo has arrived. Good news, I'm not the only one whose family was called. Victor's was too, lol. Leo was wearing a black and white houndstooth coat today, with a white shirt and brown trousers underneath. He sat there, looking a bit tired as he loosened his tie. I've been in meetings for over 10 hours straight, took a 5 a.m. flight back from Europe. The hospital told me you haven't taken your medication once in the past 2 weeks. And you've started a relationship with another patient. His voice suddenly rose as he finished. Who's this blonde bloke? I reached out to tug at his sleeve, trying to explain. Don't get upset, brother, I'm not dating any blonde. Hearing my words, Leo's expression softened slightly. The next second, he heard me say, "His hair isn't dyed, it's naturally black." Leo immediately stood up from his chair. "Claire Sinclair. Anyone who's been scolded knows that. When an elder calls you by your full name, you know you're in trouble." So I turned tail and ran. But Leo had watched me grow up. He knew me better than I knew myself. So, just as my left foot stepped out, Leo grabbed my arm and pulled me back. I sat on the bed, hugging my arms, curled up into a ball. Leo was beside me, helping to pack my suitcase. "I'll sort out your discharge papers today," I said. "I don't want to leave. I shouldn't have brought you to this place in the first place." I replied, "It's not what you think. We'll go to Europe for a while, then I'll help you contact the university later." I said, "Actually, he's not a patient. He's the director of this hospital. The head nurse and Dr. Woodville are the real mental patients pretending to be staff." Leo paused his packing and looked at me with a mix of shock and anger. "Is this what he told you?" Seeing his expression change, I was about to speak. But he threw the clothes into the suitcase and strode out of the room. "Someone come here. Is this how you look after patients? My sister was fine when she arrived, and now she's like this after just 2 weeks. Why aren't severe cases isolated from regular patients? You'd better give me a reasonable explanation, or I'll take legal action against you." Leo Sinclair, known as the Prince of the Capital Circle, and the CEO of Sinclair Group, caused quite a stir with his outburst. The head nurse came running immediately. "Mr. Sinclair, please calm down. With all due respect, if your sister was perfectly fine, she wouldn't have been admitted to our hospital. While we're responsible for patient care, there are limits to what we can do. Your sister has freedom of movement, we can't interfere with her social interactions." The usually mild-mannered head nurse was surprisingly confrontational. Leo's face turned pale with anger. "Are you suggesting it's my sister's own fault?" The head nurse pursed her lips. "Well, if there's nothing wrong, why did you bring her to a psychiatric hospital?" Leo exploded. "Is this how you treat patients and their families?" I curled up even tighter, clutching my head. "Leo, please stop. I'm begging you, please stop." As Leo was about to continue, a well-dressed middle-aged woman approached my room. "Where is she? Where is she? Where's my future daughter-in-law?" Victor followed behind, looking shy. Mom, don't shout like that, you'll make her uncomfortable." Then, they came face to face with the fuming Leo. The previously boisterous Victor suddenly stood still, all expression draining from his face as he regarded Leo with a grave look. The hostility that flashed in his eyes was like that of a wild beast in the jungle, an innate wariness. It sent a chill down my spine. Noticing my reaction, Leo turned to me and asked, "Is it him?" I instinctively nodded, then quickly shook my head. No, Leo, let me explain." Victor's mother swiftly came over and grasped Leo's hand. "You must be Claire's brother." "I'm Victor's mother. You can call me Ms. Whitmore. I've heard about what happened between the two kids. This is all our Victor's fault, and I assure you, I'll make sure he takes responsibility for your sister." Ms. Whitmore, Victor's mother, was clearly a respectable woman. Her speech was gentle, and her smile was warm. As she said this, she gave Victor a light tap on the back of his head. "Come on, say hello to your brother-in-law." Unexpectedly, Victor complied. "Hello, brother." "Don't worry, brother. I've already cured Claire's illness." Leo took a few steps towards Victor, coming to stand right in front of him. With a challenging look in his eyes, he said, "Oh. Then tell me, how exactly did you two cure it?" I immediately tried to stop Victor with my eyes, signaling him to keep quiet. For some reason, I suddenly felt a bit embarrassed. Victor glanced at me, his face reddening. "Well, it's not really something we can demonstrate. Anyway, Claire won't be clinging to you anymore. After all, you're her brother, and her previous behavior wasn't appropriate." Leo turned back, giving me a cool look, then leaned in to whisper in Victor's ear. "Didn't she tell you I'm not her biological brother?" The moment he heard this, the smile on Victor's face disappeared, and he looked at me with a hint of reproach in his eyes. "Oh no! I've been found out." Leo forcibly arranged for my discharge from the hospital. He wanted to separate me from Victor. But how could that be allowed? I couldn't stop the medication. I sat on the ground, clutching Leo's hand, pleading desperately. Leo! I can't leave. I've only taken one course of medication, it's not fully cured yet. Leo angrily retorted, the nurse said you flushed all your pills down the toilet. What medication have you been taking? I glanced at Victor, my face turning bright red with embarrassment. Victor, following behind, shouted, Brother. I'm her medicine. We need to eat lips for half an hour every morning, noon, and night. She can't be without me. Ms. Whitmore, overhearing this, began to feel embarrassed herself. What? You need to eat lips at morning, noon, and night? Young people these days have such good stamina. Leo's face turned green. He let go of the hand he was using to drag me out and grabbed Victor by the collar, landing a punch. What did you say? You bastard. How dare you take advantage of my sister? And then they started fighting. Ms. Whitmore and I jumped around anxiously on the sidelines. Stop fighting. Please stop. The other patients in the mental hospital, however, were watching with great interest. Fight. Fight. Left hook. Right hook. Come on. Go, Dr. Wright. You can win. It was utter chaos. Victor and Leo, both tall and handsome with broad shoulders and long legs, stood at 6 feet 2 inches. Although one was wearing a coat and the other a hospital gown, they were evenly matched in the fight. In the end, neither of them could overpower the other. Leo sat there, leaning to one side, looking dejected. Claire, are you really not coming back with me? Are you going to give up on me, on Dad and Mom, on our home, for this madman? Looking at Leo's face, I felt like he was falling apart a bit. Instinctively, I walked over and grabbed his sleeve. Leo, I'm sorry. I won't make trouble anymore. Let's go home. Leo looked up at me. A light gradually returned to his eyes. He nodded, got up from the ground, and took my hand. All right. Let's go home. I promise, I'll never send you to a place like this again. Claire. Victor tried to come and pull me away, but was held back by his mother. Even as we got into the car, Victor chased after us from inside, only to be dragged back by the medical staff. Everything here was indeed a dream, and now it was time for that dream to end. I thought returning to the Sinclair house meant facing Mum's stern expression again. To my surprise, when she saw me, Mum just smiled gently. You're back? Go have a shower first, get some rest. I'll have the kitchen prepare your favorite dishes for dinner. All right. I nodded hesitantly. As I went upstairs, I vaguely heard Mum talking to Leo in the dining room. Why did you bring her back? Are you trying to go against your father and me? Are you only satisfied when you've driven us to our graves? Ah, so Mum didn't want me to come back after all. Leo's voice sounded weak and defeated. I'll move out with Claire. I'll take care of her from now on. Don't worry, I know my place. She's my sister, and will always be my sister. Dinner was lavish, but to me, it tasted like cardboard. The urge to vomit came over me again. The cook looked at me dejectedly. Miss, is my cooking really that bad? I forced down the discomfort in my stomach and smiled apologetically at her. That night, I slept fitfully. In my hazy state, I sensed a dark figure by my bed. I called out instinctively, Victor. The night breeze stirred the gauze curtains in the room. In the moonlight, I saw Leo's stern face suddenly appear at my bedside. Though expressionless, his eyes seemed to burn with a desperate, manic flame. I startled, Leo, why are you here? His eyes flickered. You're awake. It's nothing, I just wanted to see how you're sleeping at home. I felt uneasy. Fine. If there's nothing else, you should go back to sleep. Leo looked at me, a hint of mockery in his smile. So now you don't even want to say an extra word to me? You used to say I was your favorite person. Oh, this was a loaded question. I said, your parents, they're against incest. Leo froze. What? I explained, my feelings for you are romantic, but you only see me as a sister. You treat me like a sister, but I want to sleep with you. Doesn't that make you uncomfortable? Doesn't it disgust you? You all thought I was mad, that's why you sent me to the mental hospital, right? So why bring me back now, just to make everyone miserable? Hearing this, Leo suddenly grew angry. What else could we do? Leave you in that hellhole, let that lunatic lure you in and brainwash you? I clicked my tongue, you're so contradictory. Leo, you can't be like this. You won't be with me yourself, but you won't let anyone else be with me either. Humans are afraid of loneliness, I need companionship. Leo raged, can't you choose someone better? Hearing this, I couldn't help but recall Victor's indecent gasps when I pinched him. My face flushed red. How do you know I've chosen poorly? Leo, he looked shocked. Me, LOL. Leo stormed off, furious with me. He couldn't accept that his little sister, whom he had cherished all his life, had fallen head over heels for a lunatic, no, a mental patient. After just 2 weeks in a psychiatric hospital, he felt the whole world had gone mad, drifting around the house like a ghost day after day. I thought that perhaps he was the one who had become ill, not me. Compared to him, my condition seemed trivial. After all, my illness could be cured with a simple kiss, but no one knew what he wanted. When Leo suggested taking me to live elsewhere, Mom and Dad flatly refused. I'd been cooped up at home for 3 days, and realized I hadn't eaten Victor's lips in all that time. How boring. I decided to get some fresh air in the garden, and noticed a dark figure standing outside our garden fence. Seeing me, the person waved, Claire. I'm here. Come over. My heart leapt with joy as I ran over. It really was Victor. What are you doing here? Did you escape from the hospital? I asked. Victor flicked his fringe. Escape? What do you mean? My family owns that hospital. I can come and go as I please. Did you miss me these past 3 days? I nodded shyly. Victor leaned over the fence. Come here, eat my lips. We smooched passionately, lost in each other's embrace. Just then, I caught sight of a shadow standing nearby. I let out a startled cry. Ah. Leo, when did you get here? A sneer played on Leo's lips, since his hands were around your waist. That was quite early then. I felt a bit embarrassed. Leo grabbed my hand, yanking me out of Victor's arms, and marched straight back to the house. I tried to twist my wrist free but was shocked by the look in Leo's eyes. He had never looked at me so coldly before. It sent chills down my spine. When we reached a secluded corner, Leo pushed me against the wall. He gripped my wrists, trapping me in the corner. His gaze was sharp as a hawk's, with an unfamiliar aggression and possessiveness. He lowered his head as if to kiss me. I turned my head to avoid it. His burning lips landed on my neck instead. Leo's grip on my wrists suddenly tightened. You'll do it with that madman, but not with me? Why? I felt a stinging pain on my neck, as if he had broken the skin. I struggled for a moment, but couldn't break free. Deciding to give up the futile struggle, I resorted to a verbal attack. Mom's coming. Leo, who had been acting like a provoked beast just moments ago, immediately released me. I looked at him, unable to hold back a laugh. Leo, why don't you just give up? Are you really going to tell Mom and Dad that the daughter they raised is now with the son they're most proud of? Seeming to understand the mockery in my eyes, Leo punched the wall beside me twice before walking away. I rubbed my painfully numb heart, thinking, it's great to be the wicked one. I thought Victor was just joking with me, running out for a bit before being dragged back in. To my surprise, not only was he not dragged back, but his mother came to propose marriage on his behalf. Victor turned out to be the heir of the renowned Wright family, with a background comparable to the Sinclairs. Stripped of his blue and white hospital gown, Victor wore a casual suit paired with slightly long, tousled hair. He looked even more sprightly and elegant, with a touch of refined nobility. Facing my parents' questions, he remained composed and tactful. How did you meet our Claire, Mr. Wright? My mother asked. Victor replied, by a fortunate coincidence. How long have you known our Claire? Why did you suddenly decide to propose? My father inquired. Victor answered, although we haven't known each other for long. It feels like we've known each other for several lifetimes. What do you like about our Claire? My mother pressed. Victor smiled. Love is a feeling. When the right time comes, no one can explain it clearly. My parents' curiosity was burning, and they began to imagine how Victor and I had met, gotten to know each other, and secretly pledged our lives to one another. Ms. Whitmore, meanwhile, observed all the proper etiquette. She arrived with over a dozen bodyguards and presented a long list of gifts, including not only cars, houses, and cash but also Wright Corporation stocks. The total value added up to tens of millions of pounds. My parents couldn't believe that I, their money-losing commodity, who seemed destined to be left on their hands, could find such a good match. They were somewhat incredulous. My mother looked at Ms. Whitmore hesitantly. Ms. Whitmore, do you really want to marry our Claire? There are some things about her that you may not be aware of. Victor smiled and said, Mr. and Mrs. Sinclair, I am fully aware of Claire's situation. Rest assured, I won't give up on her treatment. Trust me, I will definitely cure her illness. Ms. Whitmore added, yes, Mr. and Mrs. Sinclair. I'm not afraid to tell you that our Victor and your Claire are actually in the same boat. My parents were taken aback by these words. Then they heard Ms. Whitmore continue. He lost his mother when he was young. I am his stepmother. Shortly after I married into the family, his father passed away, leaving just the two of us, a widow and an orphan. My parents finally relaxed. Oh, so that's what you meant by being in the same boat. The three of them then had a pleasant conversation. And before long, they had settled on our marriage. Because I was still young, they decided to have us get engaged first, and hold the wedding ceremony when I reached the legal age, thinking that I had finally passed on my troubles to someone else. Even my parents, whose relationship with me had been a bit strained lately, looked at me more kindly. After all, I was the daughter they had raised with their own hands, and they couldn't help but show some genuine emotion. Claire, when you first came to our family, you were only 8 years old. We never imagined you'd be getting engaged so soon. In the future, be good to Victor. Don't worry about us, your brother will take care of us. After the engagement, you'll be an adult. You can't throw tantrums like you used to. I agreed to everything, I will. Okay. But in my heart, I was thinking that I finally had somewhere else to go. Although it seemed a bit cruel to leave Leo behind. But two people who aren't brave enough shouldn't have any future together from the very beginning. On the day of my engagement to Victor, Leo drank far too much. But Leo, being a man of great self-control, didn't cause a scene even when drunk. He didn't do anything to embarrass the Sinclair family. That one moment of madness seemed like a figment of my imagination. But the mark on my neck was a stark reminder that it had all been real. After the summer holiday, instead of going abroad, I enrolled at the University of the capital as per my acceptance letter. Victor bought an apartment near the university and moved in with his butler, maid, cook, and bodyguards to keep me company during my studies. Victor is an excellent fiancé. He's handsome, skilled, and very emotionally supportive. He has loads of money and a stepmother who's brilliant at making even more. Every day, he neither works nor studies. He can quietly go mad or joyfully lose his mind. He has many whimsical ideas, there's never a dull moment. His mother told me Vic was actually very clever as a child and did well in school. The death of his parents must have been too great a shock. I was busy managing the Wright family business and neglected him. It wasn't until his graduation ceremony, when he claimed to be Ultraman protecting Earth, that I realized he had mental health issues. Now it's better. With you around, his mental state has improved significantly. In this life, I don't ask anything of him, I just want him to be happy. You two lovebirds, just live your lives well. That's what matters most. Here, take this unlimited black card and use it as you wish. I'm just like your own mother. If you need anything, just tell me. I'll never let you down. Well, that's wonderful. My future mother-in-law not only doesn't mind my quirks but treats me like her own daughter. I threw myself into Victor's mother's arms. Thank you, Mum. The three of us living well together, That's what matters most.